Hello, this is Ray, one of the program presenters in the Atchison Planetarium at Cranbrook Institute of Science, with a look at the pre-dawn sky for the week of May 17. Looking towards the southern horizon at 5 a.m., we can't miss Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is the brighter of the two, with Saturn to the left. Mars is in the southeast and continues to increase its distance from Saturn. Let's direct our attention from Mars to the opposite side of the sky in the northwest. Last week there was an opportunity to spot the International Space Station. It rose in the northwest and passed through the handle of the Big Dipper. There will be another chance to spot the ISS on the morning of the 17th. This time it will become visible an hour earlier. It will appear at 4:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, about 10 degrees above the northwest horizon. Remember how we could estimate angular distances by using our hand last week? A fist held at arm's length covers about 10 degrees from side to side. The ISS will pass to the left of the Big Dipper this time, will pass nearly directly overhead, and will set in the southeast around 4:13. Let's return to the Big Dipper. It's getting lower in the morning sky right now. If there are a lot of trees or buildings near the horizon, part of the bowl might not be visible. The lowest of those four bowl stars is about 21 degrees above the horizon. A hand at arm's length with fingers spread spans about 20 degrees from the tip of the little finger to the tip of the thumb. Let's concentrate on the star at the bend of the handle of the Dipper. The star is named Mizar. It's a very famous multiple star system. If we look closely at Mizar with just our own eyes, we'll see a fainter star above it. Its name is Alcor. If you have difficulty seeing Alcor, use binoculars or a small telescope. The ancient Arabs called Mizar and Alcor the horse and rider. At this time of the year, the rider is directly above the horse in the morning sky. This was the first double star system to be viewed with a telescope back in the 1600s. Since we're facing northwest, let's go about 6 degrees, or a little more than the width of one fist, to the left of Mizar, and we'll come to a star at the end of the Dipper's handle. Its name is Kade. Do you see two stars here? Hopefully not, since Kade is not a double or binary star at all, but it will help us locate another famous astronomical object. Less than 4 degrees below Kade is a whirlpool galaxy, but it's only visible through a telescope. The whirlpool galaxy was first spotted by Charles Messier in 1773 while he was looking for comets. He didn't know what it was. It was just another one of those fuzzy patches of light called a nebula. He entered it in his catalog as number 51, so the whirlpool galaxy is also known as M51. M51 has a companion, now known as NGC 5195. It was discovered in 1781. It wasn't known if these two objects were related to each other or just happened to lie along the same line of sight. However, it was believed that both nebulae were part of our Milky Way galaxy like everything else. In 1845, William Parsons, using his huge 72-inch or 1.8 meter reflecting telescope, discovered that there was a mysterious spiral structure to M51. This was the first nebula known to have a spiral shape. It wasn't until 80 years later that astronomer Edwin Hubble determined that a lot of the so-called nebulae were separate galaxies far beyond our Milky Way. 65 years later, the Hubble Space Telescope was named in his honor. M51 is one of the finest spiral galaxies. We see it nearly face on, and it looks just like a whirlpool. It's about 31 million light years distant and spans about 38 million light years from side to side. Looking at a detailed photograph, we see that one of the spiral arms appears to be extended towards NGC 5195. It's believed that about 500 to 600 billion years ago, the companion, which is a dwarf galaxy, came up from behind M51 and passed through it. Then 50 to 100 million years ago, it came back from the front side and did it again. Today, NGC 5195 is located slightly behind M51. Galaxies can be gravitationally bound to each other, just as planets are gravitationally bound to stars, and binary stars are bound to each other. And yes, close-by galaxies that are gravitationally bound could be called binary galaxies. But how could NGC 5195 pass through M51? Galaxies don't slam together like a pair of cymbals. Most of space is empty, so one galaxy can pass through another. But the gravitational interaction between the two sets off a burst of new star formation. Sunrise on the 17th is at 6:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. By the end of the week, on the 23rd, sunrise is at 6:09. The sun continues to rise earlier each morning, so next week our sky tour will have to begin at 4:30 instead of 5 o'clock. Thanks for visiting and keep looking up.